Hey, this is Floppy. I'm going to explain to you guys what actually happened throughout Jeremy Lin's time in the league. I see a lot of people saying that he's just a bench warmer, and some people are making long videos talking about his career while clearly knowing nothing about the context of what actually happened. So I'm here to clear it all up. Let's get into it. By now, most of us know what happened before Linsanity happened. Jeremy Lin was pretty good in high school, but he didn't have the explosive athleticism or size to attract any Division I scholarship offers. Most schools didn't even recruit him whatsoever, but Harvard did. He played 4 years there and averaged 16.4 points per game, 4.4 rebounds per game, and 4.5 assists per game in his senior year. Just like in the NBA, he drove aggressively into the lane and drew a lot of contact, while also setting up his teammates. He had a breakout game against Kemba Walker, where Lin scored 30 points, grabbed 9 rebounds, with 3 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. He went undrafted in 2010 after his senior year, but the Mavericks saw something in Lin and invited him to play for their summer league team. In that year, John Wall was the first pick and was extremely hyped up after an impressive year at the University of Kentucky. Lin and Wall matched up in a game during the summer league, and most people expected Wall to dominate Lin, but that didn't happen. Especially in the fourth quarter, Lin shut down Wall's offense. Shot after shot, Lin contested Wall's jumpers perfectly. On the other hand, Lin made a flurry of impressive jumpers and showed off his quickness in getting to the rim, finishing with acrobatic layups and even an explosive dunk. Lin scored 11 of his 13 points in the fourth quarter. John Wall's extreme athleticism is well documented, but actually in that game, Lin even beat him on a jump ball. David versus Goliath, the crowd was loving it. After Summer League, scouts wrote that Jeremy Lin had above average athleticism and showed that he could both defend and finish. The Mavericks tried to sign Jeremy Lin that year, but instead he chose to join the Warriors, which was his favorite team growing up. In the 1 year that he spent with the Warriors, he hardly even played, and he didn't show much of anything at all. The next year, he moved on to the Knicks, and this is where it got interesting. The Knicks, led by Carmelo Anthony and Amari Stoudemire, started off the season horrendously. They started out the season with a record of 8 wins and 15 losses, making them one of the worst teams in the entire league and far from playoff contention. The roster then faced multiple injuries, with multiple point guards going down and Melo having to miss games as well. In these first 23 games, Lin played a combined 55 minutes only. After losing 11 of his last 13 games, coach Mike D'Antoni put Lin in. He thought that maybe he'd give Lin a chance to show other teams what he got, since he would probably be cut from the team very soon. But that didn't happen. Against All-Star Darren Williams at the Nets, Jeremy Lin poured in 25 points, 7 assists, and 5 rebounds, propelling them to victory. Lin energized the entire team. Lowly regarded role players like sharpshooter Steve Novak and defender Jared Jeffries thrived on both ends of the floor, playing off of Lin's drives and pick and rolls. They won game after game, winning 7 games in a row and 8 out of 10 games to put them back into the playoff race. Lin once again faced John Wall and the Wizards, blowing past him for a big dunk and winning the game with 25 points and 10 assists. Against the Raptors, Lin hit a last-second 3-point shot that won them the game. Against Kobe and the Lakers, Jeremy Lin scored 38 points after Kobe told the media that he didn't even know who Lin was. Hype around this undrafted player was off the charts in all of New York and all around the NBA. But guess who didn't like this? Knicks star Carmelo Anthony left a successful Nuggets team to come play in New York, despite being the star of his team since his very first season. He wanted the bigger media spotlight in New York. Also, getting signed by Jordan Brand and described as MJ's successor, Melo didn't like the love that Lin was getting. Melo played a ball-dominant brand of basketball, often getting the ball in a triple threat position in mid-range, jab stepping a few times before taking a jumper. He was always a very skilled scorer, but his will to win and unselfishness was always a point of contention. Melo came back and at first he tried to fit within the system, but his numbers suffered, having to play off of Lin. At the same time, the rest of the league was starting to put a lot of focus onto Lin. They now knew what he could do and made sure to game plan against him to make sure that they wouldn't be embarrassed. It was an open secret that Melo didn't like coach Mike D'Antoni, partly because D'Antoni often played a point guard centric offense, which meant that Lin would be running the show and not Melo himself. Soon afterwards, Lin injured his knee and remained out for the season. There were rumors that Lin's teammates Carmelo Anthony and J.R. Smith didn't like the attention that Lin was getting, and this was later confirmed by other players' statements, such as Amari Stoudemire. He said, "Everyone wasn't a fan of Lin being the new star, so he didn't stay long, but Jeremy Lin was a great guy, great teammate. A lot of times you gotta enjoy someone's success, and that wasn't the case for us during that stretch. You gotta enjoy that. You gotta let that player enjoy himself and cherish those moments. He was becoming a star, and I don't think everybody was pleased with that." At the end of the year, Houston offered Lin a contract that was heavily weighted towards the last year. The very last year of the season would pay Lin a lot more money than the first few years, making it hard for the Knicks to match. Carmelo went on to criticize it, calling the contract ridiculous. Throughout the history of the league, very few players criticize other players for the contracts, even if they were overpaid. If anything, they usually express that they were happy that their fellow players were getting paid well. So this incident stood out in a lot of people's minds. Houston signed Jeremy Lin with the intention of putting the ball in his hands and letting him run the offense. But what happened was that soon after, they managed to get a trade to land All-Star James Harden, so it never came to fruition. Jeremy Lin ended up playing off-ball a lot more, and James Harden developed into the MVP-level ball handler that we all know today. Lin still has strong showings once in a while. Against the Spurs, with James Harden out of the lineup, Lin carried his team with 38 points and 7 assists in a narrow loss. He averaged around 11 to 13 points in his next few seasons, including a stint on the tanking Lakers, where coach Byron Scott infamously benched Lin during crucial moments to make sure that they would lose games. Lin spent a year in Charlotte playing a sixth-man role next to Kemba Walker. At this point, it was well established that Lin was still an impactful guard coming off the bench. Lin spent the next 2 seasons with the Brooklyn Nets, once again hoping to run the offense through his own hands. Unfortunately, he got injured after 36 games in his first season and only played 1 game the next season before getting injured again. In 2018, Lin signed with the Hawks, playing on a young rebuilding roster next to star rookie Trae Young. Despite playing only 19.7 minutes per game, Lin remained productive, averaging 10.7 points on the best efficiency of his career so far, with a true shooting percentage of 59.4%. The second-seed Raptors signed Jeremy Lin late in the season to be a second or third string ball handler and a positive locker room presence. They gave Lin minutes to try to figure it out in their last stretch of games before the playoffs, but it never really paid off. Lin wasn't making his jumpers, and coming to an all-new team as a point guard so late into the season meant that he didn't know their plays well enough, and he just couldn't perform that well. Lin played very few minutes in the playoffs, mostly in garbage time. But the Raptors managed to beat the Warriors in 6 games to win the franchise's very first NBA championship. Since then, there's been memes poking fun at the fact that Jeremy Lin won a championship without playing much at all. And a lot of people are happy for him that he's the very first Asian American to win an NBA championship at all. A lot of people have also been leaving negative comments on Carmelo Anthony's social media, saying that Jeremy Lin won a championship before Melo did. And that's that so far. Jeremy Lin is currently 30 years old, so it remains to be seen how much more he will achieve in the league. His game actually hasn't changed that much since his New York days. He relies on driving to the rim aggressively to either score or set up his teammates, but he's somewhat turnover prone, and he isn't a very good 3-point shooter. Having said that, it looks like his role as the 6th man off the bench will fit him best, and I hope he continues to find success in the upcoming years. This is Floppy. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up. It really helps a lot. Remember, keep shooting and keep making buckets. See you guys next time.